to impose a work requirement on the people you heard from today who've worked all their lives, nobody is jumping up and down and say, oh boy, now I get to go on food stamps and get some free stuff.
Whoa.
Hang on there.
You okay, hon?
Oh, I'm perfectly fine. Why are you doing this?
This is like a lifeline. This is a last resort. This is not some freebie. I'm afraid Trump and the Republicans just look at this as more welfare. Yeah. But these are real people at the end of their rope. And if you just cut 10% out of food stamps, you're expecting the food pantries, the private donor, volunteer-run programs like this to double what they do, and they just can't do it.
Right, it hits the hardest at the local level.
Yeah, and the hardest at the personal level. Yeah. And politicians, Congress should have a hearing just listening to people who are on food stamps.
Right.
Then you would have bipartisan consensus. Bring in someone from every congressional district with a story like this to tell. And they would not be talking in this callous way about, let's give a couple $1 trillion more to the rich and cut the stuff for the poor. Right. Nobody who's heard this kind of story would talk like that.
Right. And the other thing I wanted to touch on, you mentioned wanting to sort of bring about a second kind of New Deal era and help spearhead that. I thought that was an interesting take, just in that in recent years we've heard slogans akin to, make America great again. In a way, this would be harkening back to an older era, but with that safety net intact as opposed to stripping it away.
I'm not trying to harken back. I'm trying to move forward to a government that had that same spirit of helping people instead of just helping the rich. In 1950, during the Eisenhower years, often thought of as our best years. We built the interstate highway system, we started the space program, we put every single GI through free education. You know what the top tax rate was on rich people then? Anybody?
No, I'm correct now.
92%. Did you ever hear anybody complaining during the Eisenhower years that they were paying too much in taxes?
92% federally?
92% was the top marginal tax rate during the Eisenhower years. And that's what built America. Taxes are the price you pay for civilization.
So what do you feel a proper tax rate would be on, first, where was rich at that point? Like what was the income line? In relative terms to now?
You'd have to be talking in 2018 dollars.
Yeah.
I think the top earners at the time were considered anything over $3,000. Wow. What is that in today's dollars? I don't know.
So what do you think an appropriate tax rate would be now?
Rate now. The other era that people talk about being when America was great, I most frequently hear the Reagan years. During the Reagan years, the top marginal tax rate was 50%. Now,
50%.
50% was the rate during most of the Reagan years. And nobody complained about it then. We were building important federal programs. Nixon, it wasn't just LBJ and FDR. Nixon gave us the EPA and the Legal Services Corporation, taking care of a planet that's not going to take care of itself, and taking care of low-income people who cannot afford to hire a lawyer.
So that 50%, at what income rate would you?
You're getting down in the weeds there.
Hey, that's the job. You're going to Congress, no?
One word for you: Wikipedia. It was for the wealthiest Americans, and I think we had more tax brackets then.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Reagan. I'm saying if you get elected November,
I think we would have more tax brackets, and the top 1% of America would pay more. I think 50% would not be an unreasonable amount.
We have time for one more question, guys. We got to go to another event. So
I've answered mine.
It was 39% under the Clinton years. They came in, the Trump folks and Ryan, and said, let's lower it even more, 2%, and it's okay to allow hedge fund managers under the carried interest loophole to pay only 20%. The rich must pay their fair share. Now, people can say, I want to raise taxes. The rich must pay their fair share. I'm not talking about raising taxes on the 99%. But the rich must pay more.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask the most unpopular question right now, which is the tax return question. I know we've asked it before, but it keeps coming up every time I submit.
Returns.
Yes, sir.
Okay. when Brian Fitzpatrick can vote to require Donald Trump, the highest elected official in the land, to disclose his tax returns, when he can get the nerve to kindly challenge Donald Trump to do something that everybody in this country wants him to do, instead of voting 18 times against it, I might consider it.
Last
But
weekend,
I don't give
I
in to
asked Mr.
hypocrisy.
Fitzpatrick that question because this is the answer we got last time we asked it. And he said on 7/17, he tweeted to you directly that he did and that he wanted to see Trump's tax return.
He voted 18 times against it.
So you want him to bring a vote?
I don't want to hear what you say. I want to see what you do.
Okay. Okay, that's it. That's all I-
Anything else is hypocrisy.